Doing well, doing well. All right, we will open it up for questions for Coach.
Coach, Coach Brown has called you a sort of technician with the DBs. Is there anything technical that you've seen anyone excel at, or on the flip side of that you've had to keep correcting over the first few weeks of camp?
No, I mean, we're all a work in progress. We're all trying to find each and every way to get better each and every day. Guys are progressing, and trending in the right direction, but we still got a little ways to go. But I like where our mindset is and the workman-like approach that we have.
Perry, what have you seen from Tadarius Hughes so far, and how do you assess sort of his readiness to play, at the Power 4 level?
Yeah, it's always, as a true freshman, we don't tell anybody they're not going to play. Tadarius has flashed, this camp. He's made some big hits, which is encouraging, and obviously that's what he did in high school. But, he's just taking it one day at a time. He's working his tail off. He's taking the coaching, and he's progressing in the right direction. From a true freshman standpoint, I like where he's at this point, but there's still room to grow, and I'm looking forward to the next few days when he's practicing with us.
Coach, in your run, you got BJ and Davian have earned the black jersey so far. What stood out to them in camp, especially with Davian moving from nickel to more traditional safety?
In our system, they're really just X's. We do a lot of things with all the guys, not just BJ and Davian. All the guys have embraced their roles as far as what we're doing defensively. That's what makes our defense fun. We are able to move guys in different places. And really and truthfully, they've grasped our system, and have done a really, really good job of progressing in the right direction to allow us to do that as coaches and move them around. And so for us collectively, it's pretty cool to have that many pieces that you can move around and do some dynamic things with as a defense.
And Cornell was one of those guys in the spring that showed some of that. We saw him guarding the tight ends and some one-on-one. What type of versatility has he been able to bring to that role?
It's cool for me stepping in January and being able to be around the guys and see how they progress since January all the way now to August. And I couldn't say back then we could move guys around in different spots and they play at a high level. And now we're at the point where they can. And so for me as a coach, for Coach VK and our defensive staff, that's pretty cool. It's pretty fun to see how they've grown and picked up our system to where we can do multiple things getting ready for each and every opponent that we're going to play.
You've coached a lot of good corners. What's rare about Chris Peele and sort of what he brings to that position?
He's just a pro. He's very mature, very businesslike, goes about his business each and every day. He leads by example. Being the very best he can be is important. Takes to coaching, and it's just a great kid to coach. He's high character, great player, low maintenance. Those are the kind of guys I like.
He is business-like a lot when he talks to us. We don't see his personality. What is his personality like when he, around the guys?
Very intentional, very thoughtful, but he does have a great sense of humor. He's very, very low-key though, but he leads by example. He has great conversations with the young guys to teach them how to go about their business each and every day. So it's just pretty cool to just kind of be around him and see how he's progressed since I've been here since January to now, and just to kind of see how he's grown. And he's just embraced our system. He's embraced our coaches. We've embraced him, and I'm excited to kind of see his progression throughout the year.
Is there any particular aspect of his game that you've worked on more than any others?
Coming in as a new coach, you kind of assessing everything, and so you kind of start from the ground and build the way up, and build the foundation. And so for him, each and every day, we're just trying to find those little inches, those little things that, hey, that's going to be the difference in the fourth quarter. More importantly, that's going to be the difference at the start of the game. And so I just love how he's embraced just that mindset. We're not looking at the results. We're just focused on today. Did we get better today? How do we get better this afternoon in the meeting room? How do we take that to tomorrow morning's walkthrough? And so that's been the focus, to live in the now. Let's not worry about September 5th. The focus is on Syracuse. The focus is on our defense. The focus is on each and every individual holding up their end of the deal, and that's where the 11 as one mantra comes from.
Barry, on that note, what has Coach VK's defense demanded you as a coach to do day by day?
I got to have his back. We're just always trying to find ways to create the very best opportunities for our players, to put them in the very best positions to make plays, make this game fun, because it's still a game. But the cool part is they've embraced that. They've really, really embraced and really look forward to what we're doing defensively as far as moving the pieces around and creating the very best opportunities for guys that have earned it, guys that deserve it, guys that have shown consistency and being Dart and CCT to where we're going to find ways to get you on the field because you've earned it. And there's no entitlements, and I think that's what they've really, really, truly embraced. And we've been grinding them pretty good in training camp, and they've responded. And that's the cool part of trying to build this thing before we play our first game.
You guys got a lot of new wide receiver transfers. How have your, safeties and corners kind of matched up with them? Anyone who's kind of sticking out on wide receiver?
They're all really athletic. Obviously, we have really good quarterbacks that can get them the ball. And so, our mindset is we compete with each other to complete each other. And that's what we're trying to do each and every day. It's a little adage, iron sharpens iron. So they're trying to make us better, we're trying to make them better, and we're going to push each other. And the cool part about that, if we're doing that each and every day, when we get on the field together and we're all going in the same direction, there's how you build the trust. And so our receivers are really good. They're really dynamic. They're really fast. Coach Gaddis does a great job with those guys. And, I'm excited to go against them every day because I know we're getting better.
Coach had a chance to watch some of the Toledo film last week, talk to a few of the players. You guys do a lot of confusing the quarterback, the games you play up front with the front seven, and the versatility of the DBs. How much of that can we expect to see with this roster? It's different guys, you got to fit your scheme to your players, but how much of that can we expect to see?
We'll see you September 5th.
Take two more for Coach.
Coach, you've been around for a long time coaching, in particular coaching players like Sauce Gardner, Kobe Bryant, and Ronnie Hickman, who are NFL talent. And there's talent such as Demetrius, who plays both sides of the ball. How's it been coaching somebody of that caliber for I don't know if it's your first time or it could be even a second time?
I mean, it all starts with relationships first. You got to build a relationship with the young men. The old adage, just do what I say. I think it's important with today's athlete that the relationship part is real, it's strong, the foundation is right. So once you start with that, and that's how you build trust. And from there, I think our guys have done a great job as a staff. The guys that we coach, I think there's phenomenal trust, unwavering belief in what we're teaching them and what we're asking them to do. And everything we're asking them to do, they know it's nothing but to help them and ultimately help us as a football team collectively.
What kind of stood out to you in this scrimmage with your position group this past Saturday?
Their effort. Obviously we're trying to create as many takeaways as we possibly can, but their effort, flying around to the ball, we always say effort counts twice. There's going to be mistakes, but if your effort's right, then sometimes that makes up for it. And then just continually honing in on their skills, the fundamentals, the techniques. You can never get away from that. And we're trying to teach them and understand that when it comes down to winning the game, it always is going to come down to technique, fundamentals, and execution. So teaching those guys that and them truly embracing that and buying into that and practicing that every day, that's what we're about.
All right, thank you, Coach.
Thank you, Coach.
Appreciate that. Thank you guys so much. Appreciate what you do.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Congratulations on Amari.